Flowers.
Feathers.
Friendship.
Yeah. Dursban. Yeah, no problem. Well, you're better off about the back end of November. Yeah. Okay. Right, you're all. Ta-ra. I'm Bobby Latcham, Chairman of the Woodhouse Close Allotment Association, and I'm one of the few members in our lake shore that grows flowers. Well, originally I'm from Whitton Park, but I have lived on Woodhouse Close since I was 16-year-old, and I've had allotment since I would say 30 years. This is the same allotment which was passed on from my dad to myself. My brother has a one next door, there's a flies pigeons, and it's an ideal thing to do, and I hope to pass this on to my own sons. That we have some good allotment growers, and I hope to carry it on with my own family. You couldn't grow these in your back of your gardens in council houses. You need to have allotment side to grow things like this. And it's surprising how many people do come on allotments and want allotments when they say flowers grown, vegetables grown. It's surprising how many people do want to come on the site and want allotments off you. But up to this time we have got none spare because we have a waiting list of 5 or 6 people. But what we're trying to do lately is to share allotment. If they can't manage to dig it over as a pensioner, then we hope to get young lads and young lasses involved with it. But no, it's a popular allotment site. We have 54 members, but we hope to have more.
These are my allotments. There's 2 allotments here. We grow most of our stuff that ends up on the tables, from potatoes, leeks, cabbage, cauliflowers, anything, peas, beans, tomatoes. We find this very useful. It's also a very, very good pastime doing the gardens. I have a lady and gentleman who helps me here as well, and Bob and Blanche, and they love it up here. When the sun's on here, we face dead east. So we get the sun from first thing in the morning till about 4 o'clock afternoon, and it's a pleasure to be up here. I was born and bred in Whitton Park, a small village some 3 miles northwest of here. I raced pigeons from the age of 7 years old, which was a boys' club. We formed our own boys' club called the Local Guys. We sent our pigeons off the same as the club members did, to various race points, to 200 miles. Had to have the birds liberated no matter what the weather, because we couldn't afford any holdovers like the big club. Most of us progressed on then to fly in the big club, which we thoroughly enjoyed. It's pigeons get in your blood, and that's it. You're in it. You're a pigeon man all your life. I would like to take you back now to the early 60s. This is when this family originated. They originated from Belgian pigeons, and the breed was called Van der Velde. Now this was the first pigeon that I got through them. This bird went on to be a great champion locally and in the Western Amalgamation. All the winners that we had came through this one pigeon. Her blood ran through all the loft and produced many, many good winners, top winners. I'll move on now to a daughter who was also a champion. Won the long race, won long races, it won all kinds. He didn't know how to be second, this pigeon. Racing, show pen, this was a pure champion. Its main thing was that in 50 years of amalgamation pigeon racing, this was the first pigeon ever to top the amalgamation twice. I'll move on now to her son, who also turned out a champion. Now this pigeon has a yearling, which was only a year old. It topped the federation from 272 miles. It then went to the Channel the same week and topped the amalgamation out to 400 miles. Finally, this is the Olympia, which was held in Tokyo in 1981. This bird represented Great Britain. There was only 8 birds. This bird was one of the best pigeons in Britain. It went there, it won a gold medal and this certificate, which is something I'll treasure all my life. The Olympia is held every 2 years in a different country in the world. It started off at Blackpool in 1976. The attraction for me personally in keeping pigeons, and I think it goes throughout all of that, it's very difficult to explain. In our village, I think 70% of men raised pigeons. These were men that was working down the mines, in the steelworks, wagon drivers, you know, building sites. Miners and such want to spend as much time as they did when they were on the top of the earth. Gardening, pigeon racing, whippet racing, dog racing. They spent most of their days outside, as you can understand, working in a mine all day. And that's how it got into their blood. And I've no doubt that's how it passed down to us. It's a fraternity. Once you've raised pigeons and got into it, it's with you, it stops with you all your life. Now this is one of my racing pigeons. As you can see, looking at this pigeon, it's far different to the pigeons you'll see in the marketplace or the town square. They are feral pigeons. They are not racing pigeons. These are racing pigeons. These is bred to race home. Their love of home is greater than anything. That's what brings them back over 500-600 miles. Their love of home, nothing else, and their power and integrity. At our club now, we've gone on to the new electronic timing system. It has an electronic ring affixed to its leg. Now that stops on for the life of this pigeon. That goes into the computer in the club. Then the pigeon is sent to the racing point where it's liberated next day, hopefully with the weather. When the pigeon returns home, you don't touch the pigeon. Under that pad, there's an electronic pad. Now immediately this pigeon stands on there, it'll bleep. There's an electronic clock up in the top corner, which tells you which pigeon it is, what time it's on, and how many pigeons it's timed on. This is the new modern thing in pigeon racing. There's not a lot of people got these at the moment.
Right, Friday night's come round again. We've come down here to Tindale Club to basket the birds up for another race. It's our last race of the season from Newark, 113 mile. The pigeons is waiting for this race to be over, as well as me. Thank you.
Pen. Noel. NDS 2188.
Tindale Crescent Home Society has been in existence now since 1953, and we've always tried to keep up with technology, new clocking techniques, new clocks, new equipment. Now that these electronic timing systems have come out, they are expensive, and as you know, this area is socially deprived. We don't have a lot of money about, so we decided to put in for a grant for electronic timing systems. We were fortunate, we got over £8,000. What that's done is allowed us to allow each loft to have access to one of these electronic timing systems. And we've got old chaps like Joe over there, been keeping pigeons 60 odd years. Now he's only able to get to his loft on his mobility scooter. He can get there, he doesn't have to catch his birds can trap themselves and clock on a par with everyone else. We have other members who suffer from emphysema and lung problems. They don't go into the lofts. When they do the normal work day by day, they have to wear a mask. To go into the loft to chase a pigeon physically, to take off the rubber and clock the bird on physically, they just couldn't compete. This system allows them to compete.
Right. Final bird?
That's it. 11.
Yep, bird's basket is 11. Yes, put fits down on, yeah. Call sheets.
I fly on an allotment with my dad and my uncle. I got involved when I was about 8 or 9, and then it's just been a progression really from me flying with my dad and my uncle, and then the kids have getting involved. I have two children, a little boy and a little girl. Well, Louise is right into the pigeons. I never thought that she would get into them, but every week every weekend, which is the only time I really get to the birds now with work. She gets me out of bed and says, "Dad, is the birds up? What time are they due back?" And she's even getting more involved now, where she's coming down the club on a Friday night evening, handling other men's pigeons, asking them if it's okay, if she can read them off and put them in the baskets. And all the members seem to encourage that, because there's not a lot of youth coming through, and more so with it being a girl. I was shocked. I think it's the fascination of them being, because she's seen them liberated at Witten Castle, and those birds are going into London, and I think she just became fascinated with liberating the basket of birds and then finding their own way home. You know, she's forever asking how they do it, but that's a $1 million question. Nobody really knows, do they? And then she'll pick out a bird. She'll say, "Oh, I think that one will be our first bird on a Friday night." So I'll pull it for her, and 9 times out of 10 she beats my pick. Don't you?
Yeah.
With the young birds, yeah, you're training them to drop. You're training them to drop to your loft, hopefully, and it's a combination really of the fantails and feed. You try to keep them on the hungry side. Basically, if they don't come in, you need to teach them that you're the master, really, and if they don't come in, they don't get fed. And a couple of times when they don't come in, they'll come in the third time because they're that hungry, and then they learn that every time they drop, there's feed in the loft for them.
There's a kid there going through. There, we'll look at them there. There's them, drill it. Inside those there.
All right, yeah.
Aye. Come on.
Come on. Hurry. Come on. Hurry.
I got this bird because when the pigeon comes, you have to flap the wings like that, and you have to try and get them down. And when you see that, it's like it's a sign of they know that they're home. And when they know that they're home, they know that there's corn in the curry for them to eat. So that makes them come down, and if they're hungry, they team in.
I've had them since I was 4-year-old. 58 years I've had them. I started off in a coal house, top part of a coal house at Witten Park, and I carried on from there, and from Witten Park I came over to Tindale to fly. I've always done well. I've been very, very fortunate, I think. I must be lucky. But I've always seemed to come out on top, so I mean, but it is hard work, you know. I mean, there's a lot of time put into racing pigeons, and a lot of other lads are unsuccessful. I feel sorry for them, like. But at the end of the day, you need to win, and you've got to be dedicated. And I've always dedicated myself to them. I've never been a bad losser at pigeons, like. I always shake the man's hand who beats us, and I think that's the way it should be. I mean, I live at Shildon, and when I become disabled and that, I got all electricity put in the loft. I got all the mud cons over here. I can make myself a cup of tea. I have a fridge, and I also have a microwave and my kettle. So I can stop over here for hours upon hours. And especially on a warm day, you don't want to go home. You can get a tan as if you've been abroad.
5 past 45. 5 past. 5 past. Hurry, lad. Come on. Come on. Hurry, come on. Hurry, lad. Come on. Hurry, lad. Come on. Get in. Steady. Come on. Steady. Come on. Yeah, come on. Come on then.
Oh, she's up there.
Unless you want to drop it off the bay, eh?
Just come in. No. Come on.
I've been flying for 4 years now, but my dad's like flew them all his life. He used to fly them with his dad. I just started out when he used to fly with my uncle, but my uncle went on his own over there, so I came in like helping my dad. And this year we've like topped the Fed 3 times, you know, so we've had a good year really. I just hope it gets better. It's just a matter of getting the right pigeons, you know, for the job. I'm keen enough. It's just, it's too dear for humans to come in, man, you know what I mean? And no one helps them out hardly. Like some places they do, they try and help them, but I mean, by the time you pay for your corn and your pools, and they just can't do it, you know what I mean? Unless they're like in a partnership sort of thing. It's unbelievable. I mean, corn's going up all the time and that, and you need your vitamins and that. It's just hard, you know what I mean?
I mean, years ago there used to be 40 odd members in this club. I think we're down to about 25 now. You see, there's not a lot of young people coming into the sport. I mean, like such as our Dave, he's come into the sport like through me. But I mean, if he had to come into the sport yourself,
I wouldn't be able to do it. But we've won 2 young bird races, so we're all right, you know what I mean?
We've won our share.
Well, we started off with, I think it was 68, and we're down to, well, we've got 8 in here, or 9, and we've got 30 in there. So we've lost like...
But everybody's been the same this year. I can't understand it.
I blame the telephone mast, me. But like I say, you don't know, do you?
I've been up here for since 1989. Been up here with the Pidgeys. And this is Tegan's second time that she's been up today. The last time she came up we won, so I brought her up because she was going to be a lucky mascot. But you didn't bring no luck today, did you? Huh? No luck today. You think you can let the Pidgey go back into the... Let him go. Let him go back into the tree. Go on, that's it. There. Go on, Pidgey. Go on, chase him back in. Go on, chase him. Steady. Chase him back in. There. Go on. That's it. There.
Yeah. Everybody call me Skipper. And I have the allotment now for about 18 years. I raise few chickens and vegetables and flowers and things. Well, I get a lot of enjoyment out of it. I like to grow things and watch them grow. I grow leeks and all sorts. I won the leek club twice, and we have a little thing like onion, we call them shallot. I win it last year. Well, in winter, I come up every day to see to my hens and feed them and so. Well, most I can say about it, everybody know each other and everybody move together, make fun together, do everything together on the allotment.
Yeah, I've been racing pigeons second time around since 1996. I was working at the time when I got the pigeons in second time. But now I'm not working. I had a stroke a year ago, which laid me off work. So now the only thing I've got to do really now is put the time into my pigeons, but I say I would have lost without them. Like, I like pigeons. I flew them in late 1960s for 2 or 3 years. And we're getting married and family and that, I packed them in and went back, as I say, I went back into them in the late 90s. It's an expensive hobby now, but you fly to your means. As I say, without the pigeons I'd be lost really, nothing else to do. And got the garden here, next day do a bit of gardening when the weather's permitting. Trying to get my sons into the pigeons, but they wouldn't have it, like, more into women. But getting back, like I say, without my pigeons I don't know what I'd do, like. Because I'm not really a gardener. I only do my garden because we've got to. You know, you've got to turn your garden over there to keep your pigeon loft on, like. And as I say, you meet a lot of friends and that in this game, like from round about the country, different parts of the country. I've met a few lads, Manchester, Clitheroe, and Nottingham and all that way, Doncaster area.
It's just the stock pigeons to do now. I never let mine out during the winter because you've got to get through the mould. And I think the more rested they get, the better mould they get, like the pigeons. Try to keep them in, but at the minute now I'm like treating them up before I pair up. That way any disease that's in them, it's free when you pair up, you know what I mean? You've got to try and keep them as disease free as possible. Like. Winter is the busiest time for, well, I would say it is, like, it is for me. Because I mean, as I say, you've got to try and keep your pigeons clean, you know, your lofts, and keep your pigeons healthy as they're getting through a mould. Because if they don't get through a mould, then they know what for the rest of the following year.
Yeah, next this time of year.
Not like now, I'm just starting to treat my pigeons up now. You know, I like to try and keep them disease free for when I pair up. So I'm not putting a pigeon in paired up with a pigeon that has disease because it'll just carry it right through the crate. It's been a good season, but it could have been better. I mean, I got a disease in the beginning of the year, and what it was I don't know. I mean, I got my pigeons tested and I sent them down there. It's supposed to be there. The best veterinary as far as pigeons is concerned in the country. Down to Allotments at Hull. And everything come back clear. But my pigeons weren't right, and I know they weren't. So anyway, I got some stuff and I treated my pigeons up with this stuff, and after that, but I stopped them racing while I treated up like. And after that, the pigeons was never off the clock.
Without my pigeons, I don't know what I'd do, like. The crack up is brilliant, especially on a race day when the pigeons is waiting for the pigeons to come and you get to the last half an hour when the pigeons is due, and then you all run to your craze, so you're getting ready for your birds coming back. But apart from that, you can stand around the gardens and have a good crack and have a pot of tea and that with the lads. It's brilliant, like.
I've had Allotments for probably about 21 years. I keep livestock such as bantams. I've got some golden pheasants, and I grow veg for the family and that. And I also grow prize lakes. It keeps you fit and healthy, like. As you say, I'm an old man now, like, but I'm still getting around a bit, like. Gets us out the house instead of sitting around. Right, you locked me in yesterday.
Where's?
I locked us in. I swore down to share those with it. There's no bother, is there?
What time was that?
What time? I think about 11 o'clock. 10 o'clock-ish. 10. In between 10 and 11. I do not remember. I had to climb over top of the fence to get out.
Must have been hiding it.
You broke my neck. Come on. Come on. Come on down, come on. Well, I've got the train. Well, every morning when I come back to feed the hens, the bantams and the hens, put the trough down first. As you see, it's all icy today. Different in the summer. Nice and dry and lovely, nice and clean. But when you see it ice in the winter, it's all been prodded up with the mud and that. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Your cells down. Come on. Shh. Come on. So what it is, strangers around, say, you're frightened. Come on. Come on. Come on. Get your cells down. Come on. Come on. Come on. Can you see them all right there? In the winter, you don't get many eggs often because what happens? For hens to lay eggs, you've got to have light. So when it gets dark early, and it's dark early in the morning, you don't get enough hours of light. So you lost your eggs. But if I put a light up in the crate, I could have them laying all year round. But I think that spoils the hens, like. I think they do too much. Takes too much goodness out of them. So I stopped them laying. I got 5 eggs today out of 30. But in the summer, I probably get 30 out of 30. And these here,
You're a bit scared at the moment, like, because when strangers are in, they won't come round. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Out here. Come on. Come on. Get up. I feed them on pellets, laying pellets, wheat. And if you have any old bread or anything, you bring it up and you give them that and all. Come on. How are you? Come on. Come on. Alan. You're quite tame, really. I mean, because I look after them well and that, you know. Right. Well, when I first got these allotments here, all you see from the fence there, right down this fence here, I had both allotments. This is 2 allotments, by the way. My friend's got that one, and I've got this one. When I first come up, all this is waste ground. Nothing on at all. There used to be allotments years ago before I come on. I've been on allotments 21 years. And what happened there, like, I got a year's free rent of the council, because the council owned it then. And I got a year's free rent to clear it all off. There was bed ends, prams, there was all sorts, no kidding, no joking. And I'm going back a long time, man. I'm going back over 20 years, like, so you can understand what this must have looked like then. You think it looks bad now, you should say it then. I dug it all over, cleaned it all up, and there was a pigeon man before Brian, got a cray on there, and this is the same cray. Then Brian took over, and he's, like you say, he's starting doing it up now, like, for his stock birds and that, and his pigeons. He's got allotments over there as well. He's got 2 allotments. So, like I say, I packed that one in and I kept this one. Because it was my friend used to be with us. He dropped out, but I kept it on. Because I've been bad in health myself. And I thought if I keep the allotments on, it gets us out the house. Otherwise I've only been sitting in the chair. I probably wouldn't been eating a day one for the allotments.
Camera and action.
Yes. We are officially called Tindale Community Supported Allotment Gardens, which is that such a mouthful. We all decided, we got together and decided to call ourselves Growing Together. We got ourselves a nice logo and it just seems to fit what the group's about. We're a site with 7 allotments, used by lots of different people. Mainly ourselves, we tend to run the allotments 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week, isn't it, in the summer? And it's used by quite a few different groups.
School start, come down, the schools come down. We are part of the Auckland Gate Day Centre and they still come down. We have the college come down on a Thursday and they do a lot of work in the polytunnel. We're part of the Green Gym. That's exercise as well as growing.
So we have a lot of volunteers.
Yes.
We have a bunch of good volunteers who come down quite regularly and keep us going, keep us busy. You can see around you we have a variety of work that we tend to do here. Most of the work is growing vegetables. We don't grow flowers anymore. It's all vegetables for a box scheme.
The box scheme that we're trying to start is a plan where anybody that works in the garden can take home a box of fruit and veg at the end of the week. If they don't and they want to just come in, then we're hoping to be able to sell it. Different size boxes at different prices. That's something that we're looking forward to for this year at the back end of the season, which is, I say, why we put all the raised beds in. Plus it helps my back, I don't have to bend so far.
Since 2005 we've been taking part with the Woodhouse Arts programme. We've had several things happened at the gardens, the willow structures, the totem poles, etc. Lots of the basket weaving,
quite a lot of art and crafts things. One of the best things is actually the willow. It's the willow igloo. During the winter it dies down. It looks really horrible and bare. But we give it a good pruning and it comes up beautiful. And we weave it back in during the summer. And the best thing about it is the Shoest art groups love to come down, and when they come down after they've been doing some planting in the garden, they tend to go into the willow structure and have a bit of a story in there, because it's on a really hot day to be lovely and cool. But it's just the experience of crawling inside it that kids really love, don't they?
Yeah, they all sit in there.
Sitting there and have a picnic and have a story.
This year, once again, we took part in the Arts Festival. The lads with the aid of Michael created a rather large watering can and some paintings, and in the competition the lads were lucky enough to come out on top, which was great help, giving us a little bit more publicity. The watering can we have on the garden, we're going to keep it on site and hopefully keep it up in the air or inside one of the polytunnels. So it's there for everybody to see and for everybody to remember.
As you walk through a large polytunnel
and bang your head with it.
A lot of work that we did last year was to sort out this plot and organise a fruit garden. But really, I think let Colin explain about that, because he was the start of it all.
Yes, one kind person got me involved for the fruit cage. I was last year. I raised about 3,000 quid for the fruit cage, and every kind person who put the money in towards it is very generous and kind to get the money for it.
Yeah, you had to go to presentations and all sorts.
And also I did the presentation.
Yeah, you did well.
On that, yep.
We're hoping to get footpaths laid eventually, so that wheelchairs can be really accessible. We have one laddie that we know very well that comes down in a wheelchair, Paul. He comes down and he'll just sit and watch. He can't actually take part, but he just enjoys being here.
Yes.
Mixing with the people that are down here.
We have a few people just come from the crack, like,
yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Don't like to do the work, but like the crack. But we've got lots planned for the future. I mean, we're expanding all the time, getting more people in, got the hens now.
Oh yes.
With chicks, so that's interesting, something else.
This is the first time we've had one sit on eggs, and she's raised 4 chicks. At the moment they're 2 days old. So we're having a little bit of success at last. Last year we had a bad year. All the water, the winds, all the polytunnels were torn down and all been recovered, all 3 of them. The next thing is it's very wet and it floods easy, so we've already got the pipes to go down, dig a big hole, sink the pipes and hopefully drain a lot more of the site off.
That's the big project. Big project for this year is the drainage of the land, so we can get to use it a bit more, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's a good time to start. I love this time of year. Set the seeds in, get everything turned over.
Yeah.
Brilliant. The anticipation, that's what I like. Get planning.
Mm-hmm.
I've had it since 1976. When my father passed away, I took it over, and he had it since the allotments began. You know, before that, he used to feed a family out of it, feed a family of 9 out of here. Bit of meat thrown in. And if you get up here, you forget about the world. take, you know, you pay and you forget about everything. Can't do much now because my lungs are done. My son digs it and I set it. That's after a hard day at work. He doesn't mind. So these raised boxes makes life easy. Sister doesn't like gardening, but I drag her up. And won't go on the camera. The strawberries come every year. I grow potatoes, onions, salad onions, white onions, a few flowers in the raised bed there, Japanese onions left from last year, cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, peas for the great-grandchildren, love them, beetroot, pickle that, we're just finishing it from last year. Anything else? Run out of potatoes because I use 4 stone a week. Open coffee. Anything else, George? Oh, I grow my leeks for the leek show, I mustn't forget them. I'm in the leek show. No one did very well this year because of all the rain and we got a bad strain. No fault to Bobby. Something went wrong. I think it come about 14th this year. Last year I come 4th. Depends. I've never come first yet. I keep trying. Oh dear. Get a bucket.
What's going on?
Yeah. I want to riddle some soil into them boxes. I've lived on the estate for 56 years and loved every minute of it. Come from a little village called Witten Park when it was getting pulled down. But I've loved every minute of it. Fetched 6 children up. Now 14 grandchildren, 2 great-grandchildren about me all day. Love it. I feel it's still one of the best places to live. You know, I feel as if it is a very good place to live because if you go into the private places, you hear of burglaries, and I don't think so much you read about our estate, you know, as being a bad place. You get the odd one, but still a good place to live. I love it anyway. I'll end my days there.
Well, it's going back 10 years when I put my name down because we're living out there here. There was a one come available and it was 10 years and I got this allotment here. And with the retirement in thing, when we get retired so we can enjoy the allotment, and I fly the racing pigeons, and I like the racing pigeons and I like the allotment. And so I do both in conjunction with each other. I fly the racing pigeons and I grow my own stuff for the table. Well, we're coming into the spring of the year now, and we have to get the ground ready, which has been turned over and manured during the winter. Now we turn it over in the spring and start to set about March, April. The main time we're setting in the north is about 2 months later than the south because of the, you know, the cold weather we have up here, and it can be one extreme to the other. But a lot of the lads, they generally used to start like Easter week. With Easter week being a bit late this year, the 7th to 8th of April, a lot of the lads will be putting the potatoes in, and they've got the shallots in now, and they'll be putting the potatoes in Easter week. That seems about the normal time. And then they grow on from there into May with the beetroot and other cereal crops. I got involved with the community garden because in the area was no, when I was talking to the school teachers, because my grandchildren go to St Wilfrid School, a lot of them had no idea about the gardens and allotments, so I said, why, I'll see if I can get a grant. So after making a few inquiries, on the allotment they'd always put a garden away for to make in the community garden. So I pressed it forward with groundwork. I had a bit of talk with him, and I said, how about if we could get a grant? And he said, well, George, he says, there could be a grant available from Northumberland Water. So he said, if I get the forms
and we'll both fill them in and see what we can do. And it took us about a year to get the site up and running, a good year, because when you get an allotment what hasn't been used for about 10 years, all the allotment was dumping all the rubbish on it. So we got it up and running, and it looks well now, and it's nice. It used to give me a great enjoyment when I used to go down and watch the younguns and showing them what to do and how to plant and stand them in the row when there was about 30. I pity those poor teachers because they all want to do something, and it was great fun because they would keep running to us all the time with worms and slugs, you know.
Good morning, gardeners.
Good morning, George.
Right, we've got a lot of work to do this morning.
Well, I've had an allotment actually since I was about 8 years old. I've always been, interested in gardening, and I started coming up to the St Wilfrid's here to help out in the allotment up here, and this is the third year we've done it,
Good lad. Right, just put it there. Right, the last one. Just walk on the board, it's one of the fees with it. Right, just put it there. Right, now I think, they're straight enough. I'll go and get the hoe, and we're going to pull the soil back in, all right?
I just get a lot of enjoyment out of, seeing the kids and, showing them how to go on. And
Right, next one. Oh, he's a good gardener here. He's a professional man, this one. Howdy, Kyle. Kyle knows the game.
they like it so much when they come up and see what's grown, week for week, like.
Oh, that's the best one of them all, isn't it? That's the name of it. Wilkinson's 99 Right, if you all just walk along the board, and then you can walk along the back of me and out the other side. Right now, I'll show you where. You just walk along, Fred. You all just follow along.
Right, that's it. Right, one there. Right, miss. Right. One there. That's it. One there.
The children have had an enormous amount out of this on many different levels. Firstly, the fun aspect. I'm sure you've seen how the children enjoyed their morning today, planting the seeds. If you come back in autumn, you'll see even more enjoyment when they're eating the produce, the peas, strawberries, etc. Educationally, we're looking at life cycles of plants. We're talking about direct experience here, and children learn best by direct experience. And I'm sure if you go and ask those children in year 3 about the life cycle of plants, they'll be able to tell you a lot. Direct experience is the best way of learning. If you look at their writing, they write about the allotment, they draw about the allotment. Their work is excellent because, again, it's something which they have experienced. And I'm very pleased with the work they've done. George, our gardener, is a hero to the kids. He is the fount of all knowledge, and the children are learning so much from him. And I would like to say thank you very much to George for all that. The allotment is a special place. I sometimes wish I could have a link up to the garden and I could sit there and do my work there rather than here. Just sitting there and being there is very special. And it's special to the children, it's special to me, and I think the reaction of all the children is exceedingly positive. Hopefully this year, with Taylor Shaw, the caterers in school, we will eat our produce, so the children will see the link between the planting, the nurturing, the harvesting, and then the enjoyment of eating it in the school kitchen. And I think that's wonderful.
I've only been on this plot myself for 4 years now. Lived on Woodhouse Close all of my life till I left and went to Aycliffe at the age of 13-year-old. Came back when I was 16 to live with my sister. Kept coming back to the allotments from days gone by, memories. Once over you couldn't come in these gardens, and all the old pigeon men used to chase you out of here lads, get out. You walk past them, they'd either run you out of the gate or ask you to go out the gate. I'm trying to get the same thing going, but not chasing people out. Just make sure the locking gates behind them, try and keep this site as good as what we've got it now. Because I think in time to come, the way building's going, nobody will have an allotment to go to other than a private allotment site. The allotment sites around the Weir Valley area and the Woodhouse Close area are a big focal point on Woodhouse Close, I think. It's not people all out of one street who's on these allotments, it's from all over Woodhouse Close Estate. And what I mean by focal point is people from different streets who don't see each other, they come down here, they get on to know each other in the gardens, they have a bit knit-nat, they go back home, I've been talking to such and such, and they find out that they do really know each other down the lines of families off Woodhouse Close. Woodhouse Close families, as far as I can remember, were always big families, really big families. And I think once you do get talking and talk about days gone by, oh yes, I am related to you down the line somewhere, and that's what it's always been on Woodhouse Close. Big families looked after everybody and looked after each other. The top allotments at the other side of Woodhouse Close and Tindale Crescent allotments were like one big family. Lads come down, a Sunday morning is a real good focal point on the allotment sites. Lads come down from the top gardens to collect pigeons down here, have a bit of chit chat, lads go back up there, have a bit of chit chat, and then on the Monday night there's a story blown up, oh well he's told me to do it this way and do it that way, pull each other to pieces and then talk to each other again the next day. But like I said, one big family in the allotment association is brilliant. You don't want nobody on site who's just wanting to kick up a rumpus. You're all here, you want to do the best for everybody. I think I have 41 plots on Tindale Crescent site. Out of those 41 plots in the last 3 years, there was 19 vacant when I came on. Now, none vacant and 9 on a waiting list. It goes to show you how good the allotment plots have come up in the last 3 to 4 years. Anybody who is interested in an allotment site around the Bishop Auckland area should contact the Town Council now, not Weir Valley, and they will be put into contact with such lads as me, Mr Latcham, other secretaries, all over the place, and we'll try and accommodate you when we can. I'd just like to thank these people who've blown the film. It will make allotments a lot more realised to people how much we need them, and the way the price of food is now, grow more and more and more, and you'll find out that the best stuff comes out of an allotment garden with all the muck and everything in it.